Check, 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 check. There we go. There we go. Peace, 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 peace. I hope you're doing well on this beautiful, what is today? Wednesday? Today, Thursday. Jeez. Thursday evening. A little tired. Just got a workout in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you're watching this. Let me just open this up so I can get these questions. Bam, bam, like that there. And the email. Get that there too. What it do? Peace, 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 peace. Coming in clear, coming in clear. Let me check one second. Check, check. That we good. We good on the volume. We'll do this there. We got some emails. Before I get there with it. Let me see here. Get this right. Dang. That's crazy. Yeah, we definitely not gonna watch that one. That's an old video right there. Yeah. I just cue this one up. Yeah. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. About a minute. Cue this video up. I think it was 35, about 37. Yeah, we'll go right there with it. All right. Peace, 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 peace. Moorish American question and answer. Live with Moors. Let me drop the link in the chat. People want to ask a question. If you got a question, I'm here for a little while. I'm gonna ask some questions, answer some questions, have a discussion. Join the stream, ask more questions, and learn about all things Moorish. That's why we are here today. I hope you're doing well on this beautiful Thursday evening. I'm Rami, Moorish American. In the description, I put some questions that I thought might be interesting to discuss. And we have, who are the Moors? Who are the Moorish Americans? What's the difference between a Moor and a Moorish American? Why do we believe we are Moorish? Can we use the Treaty of Peace and Friendship? Are Moors, quote unquote, sovereign? Do you have to be a Freemason to join the Moor Science Temple of America? Is the Moor Science Temple of America a cult? Rami, why do you keep making videos about tarik Bay? Should Moors challenge the jurisdiction? Didn't Noble Drew Ali tell Moors to enforce the Constitution? And more. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. If not, I think we'll start off with this video. Well, no, before we start off with the video, let's go with some knowledge, some basic knowledge and understanding. Oops. Moors. Looking up the term Moors. Let me just walk it right to you. Let's share the screen and let's get a little knowledge first, then we get to some videos. If there's any questions, we'll get to them. All right. We keeping it simple. We starting off here. Who are the Moors? All right. Simple. Can we see that? Zoom in a little bit more. Bam. Who are the Moors? This AI overview. I don't feel about AI, but you know. The term Moors is general, refers to a group of Muslim people of North African and Iberian Peninsula descent who lived from the 8th to 15th centuries. 8th to 15th century, if you don't know, is from the 700s to the 14 up into the 1500s. Origin. The term Moor comes from the Latin word Moris and was originally used to describe people from the ancient Roman province of Mauritania. Little history. Moors invaded Spain in 711 and established an Islamic culture that lasted for centuries. Their impact on Spanish culture is still felt today, including the many Arabic words in the Spanish language and the influence of Moorish architecture on architects around the world. The Moors also left a lasting impact on European literature, with characters such as the Moor of Venice in Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Othello. By the way, I heard Denzel Washington say he was going to be doing something with Othello in movies. Uh, Anyways, the term Moor was also used by Europeans to refer to anyone who was Muslim, and over time it came to be used to describe Europeans of African descent. That is interesting. And then I wanted to go here, simple Wikipedia, just so we can get an understanding. This is just basic. You can also look it up in a dictionary, it gives you a simple definition. We'll go there too. This is just easy Wikipedia. The term Moor is an exonym first used by Christian Europeans to designate the Muslim populations of the Maghreb, Al-Andalus, Iberian Peninsula, Sicily, and Malta during the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages is again that same time period. This is important right here. This sentence right here. Moors are not a single, distinct, or self-defined people. This is according to Wikipedia. Um, the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica observed that the term had, quote unquote, no real ethnological value. Europeans of the Middle Ages and the early modern period variously applied the name to Arabs, Berbers, and Muslim Europeans. The term has also been used in Europe in a broader sense to refer to Muslims in general, especially those of Arab or Berber descent, whether living in Al-Andalus or North Africa. Here's some etymology, but we get a basic understanding of Moors. Now, the next question, who are the Moorish Americans? That is a distinct group of people separate from the historical definition that you were just seeing about Moors. Moorish Americans are descendants of those Moors or Moroccans and born in America or the United States of America. Moorish Americans are the people that are known currently as African American or Negroes or Black people or Black American, Colored American, Negro American, Afro American. These were various terms that our people were labeled with. Now also foundational Black American, that's another term that's being applied to this distinct group of people. But the nationality or identity of those people that we believe, people that are that follow the teachings of Noble Drew Ali or a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we identify ourselves and our people as Moorish American. And that's the difference between Moors and this historical term, which is applied to us now. You can say, oh, that's a Moor there, that's a Moor there, in a general sense, because Moor is truly talking about dark-skinned African people from this northwestern part of Africa. But the difference is that's a general term. Historical connections, Moorish Americans, those are the so-called Negroes, Blacks, African Americans. Now let me play this clip that I've seen that I believe. Not believe. A little bit more. Hold on. Bam.
Sovereignty belongs to the citizens because the citizens are the government. That's what the prophet meant when he said, upon partial and said government. Because the citizens are the government. The people who hold office are public servants. You're the king. You're the sovereigns of the land, the citizens.
So this video right here, I'm going to rewind it a little bit. This brother is talking about, he's referencing Noble Drew Ali, and he used this term sovereigns. I want to just rewind it just a little bit. Here we go.
A law jurisprudence book, and it'll talk about sovereignty, how sovereignty belongs to the citizens.
Ali, cameraman, let's get right.
Because the citizens are the government. That's what the prophet meant when he said, upon partial and said government. Because the citizens are the government. The people who hold office are public servants. You're the king. You're the sovereigns of the land, the citizens. The public servants, that's why they have the title public servant.
Yeah, Noble Drew Ali never taught that Moors are sovereigns or sovereigns of the land or sovereign nationals or Moorish sovereigns or Moroccan sovereigns or any of that other kind of sovereigns. That teaching, that ideology is complete nonsense, just to keep it simple. But let's continue.
Because they got to represent you. They representatives serving you. You're the sovereigns of the land. So this concept of sovereignty that Moors are so against, those are the people that are going to sell your babies into slavery because they haven't been exercising what the prophet brought. And the prophet, anytime you read him, he speaks the right, he's not talking about religion, he's talking about governmental principles. And that's what we teach. This is a divine.
Hold on 1 second, because he said something crazy.
Into slavery because they haven't been exercising what the prophet brought.
Just a little bit more.
And the prophet, anytime you read him in his speech, is serving you. You're the sovereigns of the land. So this concept of sovereignty that Moors are so against, those are the people that are going to sell your babies into slavery because they haven't been exercising what the prophet brought. And the prophet, anytime
he said they haven't been exercising what the prophet brought. These people like this gentleman right here is a major part of the reason why Moorish Americans and the Moorish Science Temple of America have such a bad reputation and perception and just a complete misunderstanding. Noble Drew Ali never talked about any sort of sovereignty or sovereign of the land or any of that nonsense. And so the people that he's saying that are going against it were actually telling the truth, were actually doing their best to correct this dude. And he crazily has said those are the people that are going to sell your babies or some nonsense. Please understand that's incorrect. And the way that you can verify this is when you hear people like this say things like that, you ask them, where did Noble Drew Ali say that? Put them on the spot. Ask them to cite their source. Where are you getting this from? And almost certainly they won't be able to give you a source or citation where Noble Drew Ali actually said these things. It'll be an interpretation. It'll be someone else, explanation or belief, or some other person is claiming, but it's not what Noble Drew Ali said. And that's how you can prove them to be lies, or that's how you can prove what they're saying to be incorrect or a lie or a falsehood.
Reading his speech, the right, he's not talking about religion, he's talking about governmental principles. And that's what we teach. This is a divine and national movement. You can't stop demonstrating the national side of the movement and say that this is strictly a religious movement, but you say nationality is the order of the day. Nationality don't have anything to do with religion. Because I could be a Muslim and not be a Moor. Right. I know a lot of Muslims that aren't Moors and don't profess to be. And what comes against Moor? That's a religious creed. That's not nationality. So Muslim is one thing, and being a Moor is another. Right. So this is the concepts that we teach. That.
See, that's also why I covered the difference between a Moor and a Moorish American. Also, Moorish American is a term that comes from Noble Drew Ali. And so if someone is using the term Moorish American, there's certain principles, certain characteristics that they should be living by. And you can hold them to a certain standard. You can hold them to what they're saying because you know, oh, they're going by these teachings. And if they're not, then also you can understand if they try to say, oh, I'm not a Moorish American, I'm a sovereign Moor, or I'm a Mexican Moor, or I'm a American Moor, or I'm a Moroccan Moor, whatever sort of remix they want to put on it. If it's some sort of deviation from this idea of Moorish American, then you can understand that's some mutation. That is not what Noble Drew Ali taught, and you can already, well, I don't want to say to just completely dismiss it, but just understand the difference between the two.
People call sovereignty is nothing but your inalienable birthright. And the prophet said, I came to teach nationality and birthright. He separated the two men. Nationality was one thing, then you had birthright. Like, okay, I know I'm a Moor. That's my nationality. But tell me what's my birthright. That's a Moor.
And see, Noble Drew Ali didn't say our nationality is that we're Moor. He said Moorish American. And by that meaning American citizen or a citizen of the United States of America. So this whole idea of being sovereign and some sort of superiority status, legal status, jurisdictional status, any of that nonsense is bogus because Noble Drew Ali was teaching us how to be better American citizens or better citizens of the United States of America, true Moorish Americans. And also what you'll find, and I think I was done with this video, I'll play it a little bit longer, but what you'll find in people like this is they'll be slick with the words. He says sovereignty is nothing but your birthright. And Noble Drew Ali talked about birthrights. So therefore, Noble Drew Ali was talking about sovereignty. That is bogus. Noble Drew Ali never said sovereignty. Noble Drew Ali was not teaching to be sovereign. We're the sovereigns on the land. That's complete nonsense. So got to be careful about when people say things like that. And I have a video that I'll pull up a little bit later where I'm actually talking with one of these kind of these individuals that try to mutate and corrupt Noble Drew Ali's teachings. And I'm talking with them live and catch them in that little manipulation trick that they try. So I'll play that a little bit later. But let me play a little bit more of this.
When we say that we have an inalienable right to travel, we're not going against what the law says. Because as a Moor, we know what real law is. And we know that these statutes and codes do not govern the law. The Moors knew that back in the 1700s, petition of the 73 Moors, when they demonstrated that in the court acts and regulated. And that's a granted privilege. They'll tell you when you're going to court. That's a privilege.
I didn't even realize he was talking about that. I think that's all I'm gonna play. But even then, he's talking about I think he said inalienable right to travel or drive. I don't know if he said drive or travel, but this idea that Moors can just freely move around. They don't need license, insurance, or registration. They can just do what they want because we're Moors. That's also bogus. Noble Drew Ali never taught any of that. In fact, Noble Drew Ali, in accordance with the state of Illinois' laws, changed and filed legal documentation for the Moor Science Temple of America. So this going in accordance with law, following and adhering the law, the United States of America law, not some Moorish American law or some made up other sort of law like a Zodiac Constitution. I think I got a video on that where you may hear people talking about that. But I think I'm done with this person here, man. It's a whole lot of nonsense. And if you got questions, please drop them in there. Charlatan. Huh. You know what? I've heard that word before. Pardon me 1 second. I don't know what charlatan means. I mean, I got an idea, but I don't know. Oh, I appreciate that. You learn something. You learn something, man. I share with the people. Charlatan, Merriam-Webster definition: a quack. uh, Number two, one making usually showy pretenses to knowledge or ability. A fraud, a faker. Oh, I really love that. One making usually showy pretenses to knowledge or ability. A charlatan willing to do and say virtually anything to remain in the spotlight. Ooh. Synonyms: fake, fraud, imposter, phony, quack, sham, humbug, pretender. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that lesson. Peace. If you have any questions, please, drop them in the chat. It was something that triggered my thought on that. Let me check the email. I queued up some other videos. Oh, that's what it was. I said, I mentioned how some of these offshoot charlatan Moors. I'm sorry that makes me laugh. But some of these charlatan Moors, that's a beautiful term. Some of these charlatan Moors with these offshoot organizations and ideologies and groups and cults almost. They may say, oh, we don't have to follow the U.S. Constitution. We adhere to the divine Constitution. The divine Constitution is referring to a document from members in the Moorish Temple of America, which is a religious organization within the United States of America. And Noble Drew Ali specifically states that the members are the organization is to make us better citizens of the United States of America. So that's nonsense on its face. And the divine Constitution is only for members of the organization. It's laws on how to govern ourselves within the organization. But another one they may refer to, if you hadn't heard of it, I didn't list this on the thing, is the Zodiac Constitution. Do Moors have to follow, or do Moorish Americans adhere to a quote unquote Zodiac Constitution? And let me pull this up. I got a reference that we're gonna pull up. Of one of these charlatan Moors. Talking about this so-called Zodiac Constitution. Let's pull it up. Dang, I love that term. Shout out Pedro. Oh man, that made my even.
That number is not just the Library of Congress registration number. That number is actually the Library of Congress registration number for what's in the Zodiac Constitution. Because Zodiac Constitution is not just the cover page. Zodiac Constitution is a booklet that has certain things in it relative to Moors, whether it's court, taxation, whatever like that, it's in that book.
So here is another charlatan Moor. This person is actually a Trinidadian and a Canadian citizen, so not even an American citizen, and definitely not a so-called Negro or African American, but is trying to validate the Zodiac Constitution and claims that you can use that to get out of taxes and all sorts of things. And the way he was trying to go about it is saying, oh, it's in the Library of Congress, so therefore it's valid. But again, You can challenge these charlatan Moors. You can challenge these individuals like this by simply asking them, where did Noble Drew Ali state that? Where did Noble Drew Ali mention the Zodiac Constitution? You can just ask them that. It's really simple. And almost certainly they will not be able to provide you with the source, because Noble Drew Ali didn't teach that. He didn't say that. He didn't instruct that in any way whatsoever. I'm going to continue for a little bit.
Okay. And that book is filed in the Library of Congress. So that means that the powers in that book, the powers established by CMB in that book, is what's filed under that number in the Library of Congress, not the Zodiac Constitution. The Zodiac Constitution is the name of the document. But what's filed in the Library of Congress is the articles of the Zodiac Constitution. That's what's filed, not the Zodiac Constitution. But you say Zodiac Constitution to people, and they're looking at astrology stuff and trying to see where Taurus is and where Cancer is. That's not what Zodiac Constitution is. A book. They don't do the Zodiac and all that stuff. It's a book dealing with the laws between the Magna Carta foreigners and the Asiatics of the North Gate, and how their interactions are supposed to be with each other. And the reason why that this was presented by CMB, because astrologically that's what time it is. That's why it was called Zodiac Constitution.
At the time when it was.
At the time when it was done, was the time that this unification, because remember, he's dealing off of Noble Drew Ali, who's dealing off the fact that there's a constitution and there's treaty. And
I think I'm almost done with this charlatan. He even brings in this idea of the treaty. So I'll touch on that. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship is what's often referenced by some of these charlatan Moors, or these individuals that are teaching corrupted ideology. I'll say that. And again, you just simply ask them, where did Noble Drew Ali mention this Treaty of Peace and Friendship? Just ask them that. Where did Noble Drew Ali even mention this idea of a treaty or using a treaty? You can ask them that. And most certainly, they will not be able to give you any sort of documentation or proof to back up what they're saying. It's bogus. Oh, man. I see some questions. Let me stop sharing this for a second. We'll get to the questions. Jehovah bless. I'm not sure what that means, but peace. Yeah. Yes. Noble Drew Ali commanded all members of the temple, Moorish Americans, to obey the law of the land, being the United States of America's laws, the Constitution, and the state. Yeah, we all know that. The question, Victor Thomas, did Noble Drew Ali write about other countries? Is that what you? I think that's what you mean. Did Noble Drew Ali write about other countries? Yes, Noble Drew Ali did write about other countries. I'm not sure in what context or what you mean. Dang, man, you own it today. Was it Taj Tariq Bey that invented the Zodiac Constitution? That's a great question. Hold up. Oh, and then my man Victor Thomas came right behind it. What is the clock of destiny? Oh, both great questions. Was it Taj Tariq Bey? Let's get to that one first. Was it Taj Tariq Bey that invented the Zodiac Constitution? No. It was this person named C.M. Bey, Charles Mosley Bey. Who is Charles Mosley Bey? The founder of the organization, the Clock of Destiny. But Taj Tariq Bey does have something to do with this. We'll get to that in a moment. And see, what I'm saying right now, as opposed to some of the charlatans, I'll show you the proof. So it's not me just, this is my belief. This is not what I'm, this is just the factual information, just so we can understand the difference. If you go to, let's see here. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. Appreciate the questions today. Appreciate the questions today. Bam. First, we're going to take you to the home website, clockofdestiny.com. You can all go to this yourself and check it out. We're going to put this question back up on the table. What is the Clock of Destiny? This is clockofdestiny.com. All right, welcome to the Clock of Destiny. The Clock of Destiny Moorish International College of the Great Seal of 360 degrees is a resurrection of the Moorish Masons of the ancient ones. We are a body of men and women of various orders, namely Masons, Eastern Stars, Rosicrucians, Buffaloes, Druids, Shriners, etc., claiming their Moorish birthrights as freeborn Moorish American, in quotations, Master Masons, and freeborn Moorish Eastern Stars that cannot be made over again. So I'm going to pause right. Oh, dang, that's super. I didn't see how smart it was. Y'all see that? Boom. So right there, that's CM Beck. And that's on Clock of Destiny. He, created it. We're going to go to his page in one moment. But here you can see, what is the Clock of Destiny? It is its own organization, completely separate from the Moorish Science Temple of America. And it's made up of, namely, Masons, Eastern Stars. This is not what the Moorish Science Temple of America is. The Moorish Science Temple of America, again, is a religious organization teaching so-called Negroes, Blacks, Coloreds, African Americans here in the United States about our history and how to be better citizens to uplift fallen humanity. That's what the Moorish Science Temple of America is about. This Clock of Destiny is something completely separate. But what I do want to note is that he's saying that these separate people are claiming their Moorish birthrights as quote-unquote freeborn Moorish Americans, and in parentheses, master Masons. Now, this claiming your Moorish birthrights as freeborn Moorish Americans, that again is something completely separate from Noble Drew Ali, but is using that term Moorish American to mix in with their ideology. But I wanted to focus more specifically on CM Bay. This is a brief history. Boom. And you can get to this. You can get to this from the homepage. Right at the top on the side, it says CM Bay. That's how you get there. I just had this screen open just so you know. And so, this brother had passed away already. And so it gives a brief history of him. Respectfully, I don't necessarily want to focus on that so much, but the connection that we were just speaking about with the Zodiac Constitution, because that's something that CM Bay created. But here you can see, dang, this is small. You might have to just zoom in or pause and check it out. But it says here, CM Bay's teachings were prepared especially for the Black Masons and Black Eastern Stars, based on Clock of Destiny books and certain materials. It was a private organization and still is. Again, I'm going to read that one more time. CM Bay's teachings, like the Zodiac Constitution, were prepared especially for the Black Masons and Black Eastern Stars, based on Clock of Destiny books and certain materials. Clock of Destiny, it was a private organization and still is. So just to be clear, C.M. Bay, Charles Mosley Bay, created this Clock of Destiny organization and says specifically this organization is made up of Masons and Eastern Stars and Shriners, etc., and that his teachings were specifically for Black Masons and Black Eastern Stars, and it's a private organization. Part of his teachings is the Zodiac Constitution. That's for Black Mason. It has nothing to do with Moorish Americans. It has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America. Oh, well then, Rami, then why do you see Moors talking about it? Well, Rami, well, because I just seen, let's go back to it. We just seen a guy just talk about it. Let's rewind it a little bit. Let's hear it again. It's a guy that's on the internet and he's claiming to be this knowledgeable dude, and he got affairs like you, Rami, and he's talking about Moors, and he's saying about this Zodiac Constitution, and it's in the Library of Congress, so it's not a lie, it is there, which is true. And that's part of the con. That's part of the deception, because a little bit of it is true, but it's mixed in with a whole lot of falsehoods. It technically is in the Library of Congress. You can file and have something put in the Library of Congress, but that doesn't mean that it has anything to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America or Moorish Americans or what Noble Drew Ali taught. Nor does it make what this person and other charlatans say. Let's listen to
the book. They don't do the Zodiac and all that stuff. It's a book dealing with the laws between the Magna Carta foreigners and the Asiatics of the North Gate and how their interactions supposed to be with each other. And the reason why that this was presented by CMB, because astrologically that's what time it is. That's why it was called Zodiac Constitution.
At the time when it was.
At the time when it was done was the time that this unificate, because remember he's dealing off of Noble Drew Ali, who's dealing off the fact that there's a constitution and there's treaty. And the constitution and treaty is what set up the union. They even say it in the document, right? That union was violated. So CMA put something else on the record so that they can't get caught up in thinking that, well, because Noble Drew Ali died, and then because there was a sellout, and then people took over or whatever like that, means that there's no such thing as Moorish nationality and birthrights anymore or whatever like that. No, you just reiterated everything that was already on the record, to put it on the record again. And look at the time. So all the dirty Moors, right?
Again, they'll associate and they'll use Noble Drew Ali, but it has nothing to do with Noble Drew Ali's teachings. It has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Zodiac Constitution has nothing to do with Moorish Americans. But Rami, I see them doing it. I see them talking about it. But Rami, look at the Zodiac Constitution. Great question. I'm glad you said that. Let's look at it. Let's look at the facts. Can we zoom in? Look at that. Can we zoom in? We see it. Zodiac Constitution by C.M. Bay. See, this is not me just talking. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up because that question was very important. Was it Tarik Bay that invented the Zodiac Constitution? So now we can clearly say no. C.M. Bay was the one that invented it. But here's where it gets tricky. Here's where the charlatans, you know what I mean? Do they Moors razzle dazzle? Ooh, put that one on it. Zodiac Constitution by C.M. Bay. And it is in the Library of Congress, okay? See this Islam? Here are these Masonic symbols. Again, these symbols right here, nothing to do with Islam as a religion or what Noble Drew Ali taught. But we'll see. Here's a preface to the Zodiac Constitution. Okay. Here's a preface to it. All right. I don't even really want to read all all of this right here. I'm just scrolling down. I'm just scrolling down because the true importance part of the preface, who wrote the preface, that's what we're really getting to. All right. Who put this together? Oh, man. That's why I love. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Who wrote the preface to this Zodiac Constitution by CMB book? Who do we see? And oh man, first let's see. There you go. There you go. Taj Tariq Bey, a quote unquote free Moor. Now again, not a Moorish American. That free Moor, that's that offshoot charlatan stuff. That sovereignty stuff. But I want to point something out. He uses this right here. Help to uplift fallen humanity, which is a line from Noble Drew Ali. So it gives the impression, and then he put all of these things at the bottom, MSTA. You see that in there? So it gives you the impression that, oh, snap. This is connected to Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple, because that's the acronym. Moorish Science Temple of America. But that has nothing to do, this whole thing has nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple of America, the true organization, and Noble Drew Ali's true teachings. This is Taj Tariq Bey, a charlatan, using some of the terminology, using the organization's name, and then taking this whole other document from a completely different organization and saying, yeah, this is for Moors, this is what you should be following. And then taught that to other people, like the Trinidadian Canadian citizen that we just saw earlier, who's also not a Moorish American. They teach these other people, then they echo it on social media. And then you people that are naive, that don't know any better, say, oh man, well, this is what we're supposed to be doing because I see the videos, and that Taj Tariq Bey, that's the wise elder, the quote unquote master teacher, as some of them say. You see the problem? And then so that gets to the question, Rami, why do you be making videos about Taj Tariq Bey all the time? Because of things like that. Because of the damage that, unfortunately, that elder individual has done. And a lot of people are unable or unwilling to point out the things that are incorrect and to hold ourselves accountable, unfortunately. But that's why. Well, Rami, that's just, that's just a document. We don't even know if Taj really wrote that. I mean, it has his name in there, and he was echoing it, and you can see it online. But, I hear that. I seen another question. I seen that question. Mr. Spacely. I like the name. What's up, Mr. Spacely? Ancient free Moorish rite versus Moorish Science Temple. I want to know the difference too. Well, the ancient free Moorish rite, I believe that's connected with the Clock of Destiny, which is a private organization created by Charles Mosley Bey, also known as CM Bey, for Masons, Eastern Stars, Shriners, individual men and women in, it's not called fraternities, but in, organizations like that, private organizations, I guess. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a religious organization within the United States of America, open to all, teaching its members to be better citizens of the United States of America, and also to help uplift fallen humanity part of which is teaching the Negroes, blacks, and coloreds, or African Americans, about their true history and lineage, and our connection to Moors. I referenced that earlier. This in history. We're talking about 711 to 1400s, 1492, and teaching us certain principles, morals, things to help us be better husbands, better parents, better community members, etc. I think that's kind of the big difference between the two. Does that make sense, Mr. Spacey? Any other questions? Any other questions? Peace, peace, peace. Man, good question. What date did CMB register the Zodiac Constitution? That's a great question. Let me see if it's in this document. It is not in there. One question. Great question. Constitution, Library of Congress. I was hoping I might find a link. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. CMB. Let me go back to Clock of Destiny. 1 second. You got me on that question. Let's look for it together real quick. I don't know is the answer. Pardon me. I don't know the answer, but I'm trying to locate the answer for you. Clock of Destiny, 1947. It says here. Membership. Oh no, that's duh. I'm tripping. We're looking for the Zodiac Constitution. I seen the date. Just jumped at the date. Dang. I don't know. That's a great question. I'll need to do some more research. You know what I will do? Oh boy, look at they running it up, boy. They running it up. What I will do is do some further research. Actually look in the Library of Congress, see if I can locate the file, and come back in the comment section. I'll drop the answer to that. Dang, that's a great question. But I would presume it's somewhere around the 1940s. I think the organization was created in 1947 or somewhere about that. Let me see if they have they don't even really have you know what I mean? Like one of them. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time. Oh wait, one second. Boom. Okay, boom. Allegedly, the organization was founded in 1965. Yeah. So somewhere about that. Yeah, but to be precise, I'm still gonna do the research to confirm it for myself, because I was just off a website, and man knows not just by being told. So I want to get the facts on that. But I wanted to get back to what I was saying, because I understand, some individuals have feelings and feel a certain way when I be quote unquote going at Taj, and they feel a certain way because I'm always making videos about them. But man, the standard is the standard, as Coach Prime says. You know what I mean? The standard is the standard. And, you know, Moorish Americans, we're supposed to live by these principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And if we're not being truthful, if we're not being honest, then, you know, are we truly being Moorish American? That's part of what makes us distinct. That's what separates in our conduct, how we conduct ourselves, whether you have affairs on or not. I hope people understand what I'm saying. But I just don't want to just talk about it. You know what I mean? This is for me. I'm speaking about Tarik Bey because I spent hours studying this person, believing, like many of y'all, you know, or these many Moorish Americans, oh, this dude is wise because he was saying things that had truth in it. And so then I'll look it up and I'll be like, dang, it is the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Dang, and it do say more in there. So he must be telling the truth. I was much younger, you know what I mean? And naive. And I didn't understand some of the games and tactics that were being played. But when I slowed it back down and I said, let me study what Noble Drew Ali said and then compare that with every other person. Why do I do that? Not because I worship Noble Drew Ali, but because he created this Moorish Science Temple of America, the organization to teach us our true history, us being Moorish American, to be better citizens, etc., etc. So he created this standard, and also, I believe personally, he's a prophet. But that's personal. I don't want to really getting beside the point. Anyways, when I started going back and seeing, man, Tarik Bey is lying. He's incorrect here. This is incorrect. And it's not just a mistake or he misspoke or an error. That's one thing. But what he has been doing for the past 40 years is intentional. And it's intentionally misled thousands, if not tens of thousands, of Moorish Americans. Created a horrible perception and reputation for people that are Moorish American or even who just speak about being Moors. This is a fact. But again, I don't want to just talk it. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Any other questions? Any other questions before I get to this video? Let me pull up the facts. Let me pull up the facts. Bam. Bam, right there. Do this here. Bam. Bam. Yeah, we're right. All right, I got it queued up. Any other questions? Yeah, come on, dog. No, I don't see any other questions. So I'm gonna get to this. This is an example of what I mean.
Any issue from the womb is already claimed by the Church of Rome, the Pope, who declared himself substitute for the Nazarene or for Jesus and declares the authority over all life. And so the church is claimed to be your mother. So she can kill the children or not. This is where Roe versus Wade comes in, where they authorized sacrificing the children because they needed more hamburgers.
So don't do the marriage license, is what you're saying?
The marriage license is the bank bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bank bond against the uterus.
So then what do
now,
how do you unite with one?
Now, hold on. Why did I call you in here?
Right?
Now, this is the point. We are abandon our venue or our side of the chessboard. They're playing both sides. This is what you transmit.
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Okay. Check, check, check. Yeah, we good. Let me bring this back up.
Utility is. Transmitting utility is them reaching across the board playing your parts because you ain't playing your own part. And then when you do, you're doing it in their name, so you're still playing on their side of the board. Be your mother.
This is Tarik Bey and some other dang, I forgot the lady's name. But Tarik Bey, and he speaks on marriage license, and he speaks on other kind of sovereign citizen ideology. But just listen to, as best you can, listen to this. All right?
So she can kill the children or not. This is where Roe versus Wade comes in, where they authorize sacrificing the children because they needed more hamburgers.
So don't do the marriage license, is what you're saying?
The marriage license is the bank bond. Yeah, bank bond against the.
A marriage license is a bank bond. This is according to Tarik Bey. Okay? Marriage license is a bank bond.
Now.
So how does she unite?
Huh?
How do you unite with one?
Now, hold on. Why did I call you in here?
Right?
Now, this is the point. We abandon our venue or our side of the chessboard. They're playing both sides. This is what the transmitting utility is. Transmitting utility is them reaching across the board playing your parts because you ain't playing your own part. And then when you do, you're doing it in their name, so you're still playing on their side of the board against yourself. So this is what the brand system is. This is the role that Negro, Black, and Colored, Smith, Jones, and Johnson, this is what it plays in trust laws. And so our people don't know that when they claim to be Smith, Jones, and Johnson, that they're actually abandoning their estate. It never dawns on them that this is really the issue. They just think it's informationally invalid.
So what do I say?
Or historically a fraud. No, you're talking about a mistake. That's what they don't want you to look at. You see the point? People on their side and people on our side. Now, point. Why is everybody upset? Why they're attacking you? Now, remember when we were talking time ago, and I said I want to stay in the background, right? Because they already called me the Fourth World War, right?
Let it run.
So I'm automatically targeted. And so in the association, they already know that I don't play with them, if you get the point. And then plus, the traders amongst us also, when they're around me, and they talk about me like a dog.
We all got family members like that.
I don't play with them. I don't play with them. And
oh my goodness.
I always recognize when people with merit and sincerity are around, because they are the ones who will really get the work done. Are we clear?
No,
it ain't a matter of time, it's a matter of sincerity. You get the point? Because then nature opens up your cell memory. Because you always were who you are. And some of you are your own ancient mothers and fathers. Just come again. Somebody got to smack you around to remind you. You know what I mean? Well, it's true.
Some of you are your ancient mothers and fathers come again, and it's true. How does Taj know? How can Taj prove that? What is he even talking about? What does this have to do with Noble Drew Ali or any of the teachings of Noble Drew Ali whatsoever? Nothing. But I wanted to focus because he spoke about the marriage the mayor's certificate being a bank bond. And he goes on. Let me see if I'll let this play a little bit longer, see if it covers it. But it's this whole idea about the U.S. being a corporation, and if you sign the birth certificate, that is giving your babies away. And let me just let it play a little bit longer.
You know, when you start become cognizant of that, now the dark priests will wake up because they know who light is and who ain't. You like so the vampire invites you to the party, right? And everybody bringing cake. Just don't bring no matches. Well, let's light the candles and stuff. You don't understand. Wow. And that's pretty much what's going on. Wow. And this is for everybody to understand why you're here. Because you present in the current events the proper platform from which our arguments should have been made for generations. It is not so much that we are diplomatic to them, because we're not. We are the consuls of the land. But we must have a platform by which controversies between us can be heard. And that's what we calling you. You're supposed to call them. This will be sending agents or diplomats to converse with
Islam. Would you like something to drink?
Islam.
Would you like something?
Respect what you're doing. Now, actually, there's a couple of million conscious Moors across this country and outside of this. It neutralizes the instruments that everybody keeps trying to capture. So when someone nationalizes, refer to you any original instrument, including that birth certificate. So when people even imply on just nationalizing and making public activities, because that's what kills those instruments, because you'll never get them instruments. There is no clerk nowhere in any political jurisdiction that will transfer to you any original instrument, including that birth certificate. So when people even imply that you're going to capture that birth certificate, they start off lying to you. Because the issue is what people seek. And this is back to understanding what is it that we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. When people are trying to make claims on these instrumentalities, they're trying to take the position of holder in due course.
This was that sovereign citizen talk, man. Dang. But he had said more about the birth certificate. But I'm gonna just highlight this part again.
For the Nazarene or for Jesus, and declares the authority over all life. And so the church is claimed to be your mother. So she can kill the children or not. This is where Roe versus Wade comes in, where they authorize sacrificing the children because they needed more hamburgers.
So don't do the marriage license, is what you're saying?
The marriage license is the bank bond. Yeah, bank bond against the uterus.
So then what do
now,
so how does she unite?
Huh?
How do you?
Yeah, the marriage license is a bank bond against the uterus. That's what Taj Tariq Bey said. This is what Noble Drew Ali said. Prophet sends marriage law to all temples. All marriage ceremonies of members of the Moorish Science Temple of America must be performed by an ordained minister and the head of the temple. And any man desiring to take unto himself a wife and receive our Moorish rights, he must go to the city hall and receive his license to be registered in that city, county, and state. It then must be turned over in the hands of the aforesaid ordained minister and head of a temple after it has been properly signed by city officials. The price, therefore, thereby for such administering to a man and wife will be $5. For all those who have their papers and desire a Moorish marriage ceremony, it is $3. We Moors cannot marry no one, but we obligate you. or marry anyone, but we obligate you. Oh, excuse me. That's what it says. We Moors cannot marry no one, but we obligate you. According to our divine laws and covenant and the laws of the land, this must be proclaimed and made known to every temple so that there will be no misunderstanding. There will be no misunderstanding about I, the prophet, and my teachings, because Allah alone binds two hearts together as a unit. These are marriage obligations and instructions for man and wife. Chapter 22 from our Quran is to be read first to the husband, and chapter 21 is to be read secondly to the wife. These are the instructions of marriage from our Holy Quran. Please obey the law as given to you by your prophet through your governor, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I just want to go back and highlight this sentence here. And any man to desire to take unto himself a wife and receive our Moorish rights, he must go to the city hall and receive his license to be registered in that city, county, and state. It must then be turned over in the hands of the aforesaid ordained minister and head of a temple after it has been properly signed by city officials. So this idea, So this idea that the marriage license or marriage certificate is some sort of bank bond on the uterus is complete nonsense. And that's what Tarik Bey is putting out to people. And many people have bought into that nonsense thinking, oh, that's what from Noble Drew Ali. That's what Noble Drew Ali teaches. Tarik Bey is just, he's just the leader for right now. But it's not the case. He's a charlatan. He is a liar, scammer, unfortunately, and is using Noble Drew Ali, some of his language, literature, teachings, the name of the organization, title of temple leader as Grand Sheikh, to give the impression that what he's saying is valid, that he has some sort of legitimate or official status. But it's not the case. And this is why, and why more specifically, I keep stressing it with Tarik Bey, but it's not just him. It's plenty of frauds, there's plenty of charlatans, but he has been the most harmful in terms of the perception and the real life effect and harm this come to Moorish Americans or Moors or so-called Black people on account of trying to live out his teachings and practice this ideology and getting hit with the harsh reality of being classified as a sovereign citizen. And we can see that most clearly and most recently with the rise of the Moor militia group and plenty of individuals that have been arrested and some wound up being killed by the police, trying to push this kind of sovereign citizen ideology. Let me see. No more of this stuff they're sharing. Any other questions? Let me get Taj up out of here. Yeah, it's been an hour. 7-Eleven. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, I do. Oh, man. This is that. Bruh, this Lee Bay, I'm down to take questions. I just, the spam and the nonsense, it kind of irritates me. Ain't gonna lie to you. Any other questions? I'll be talking about it. Why are we talking about it? Because I have mentioned several times about Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America, This is from his historical message to America. It's a speech from Noble Drew Ali, and I highlighted the bottom part here. We organized, can you see that? We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year of 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois, November 29th, 1926. Again, examples of Noble Drew Ali obeying and adhering to the laws of the United States of America, and not just federal laws, but state laws. The name Moorish Temple of Science changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, May 1928, in accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. Again, further example of adhering and obeying to the law. And just a little bit further, the object of the organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America, is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. And not citizens of Moorish America, or not citizens of Moorish Americans, not citizens of Al Morocco or the Moroccan Empire or the Moorish Empire or none of that kind of nonsense. Better citizens of the United States of America. American citizens like all other kinds of American citizens. German Americans, Italian Americans, Polish Americans, Nigerian Americans, Japanese Americans, Brazilian Americans, Mexican Americans. What else we got? Ethiopian Americans, all sorts of American citizens, and Moorish Americans. See how simple that is? Yeah, Pedro. I honestly just seen the lead person a little too late. Typically, I just put them on timeout because it's nonsense. But I hope I answered the questions. I'll look back through if I missed any. Gratitude, peace. Verthis, Neil Young, the third, pardon me. I'm gonna get that answer. I'm gonna look that answer for you. Clock of Destiny, Times Bay. No, Joe Ali wrote about other countries. Yeah, we got that. I think we got them all for today. I think we are good. Any other questions before I get up out of here? Did I miss any? Oh, I did miss any. I did miss a few. Should Moors challenge jurisdiction? No, Moors should not. That's that sovereign citizen nonsense. Do you have to be a Freemason to join the Moorish Science Temple of America? No. See, the Mason stuff is more for that Clock of Destiny organization. American citizens can join the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's a religious organization. The Moorish Science Temple of America is not a cult. There are some of these groups that are going in the name of Noble Drew Ali. They give off cultish vibes. But the Moorish Science Temple of America, again, is a religious organization. Like plenty other religious organizations in this country. I mean, granted, we got a lot of work to do to clean up our image and do things correctly, but, just your regular old American religious organization. Didn't Noble Drew Ali tell more? Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. Dang, that's what I was supposed to. Yeah, I got to play that. I wanted to play that. Didn't Noble Drew Ali tell Moors to enforce the Constitution? There we go. That's what it was. Dang, I didn't send it to myself, so I'm hoping it's at the right time. I think it was like Yeah. We right there with it. We right there with it. We right there with it. Yes. I didn't forget. This is an example. Rather than just me talking about it, I got a real live example of when I had one of these sovereign citizen charlatan Moors. The word of the day. When I was speaking to one of these charlatan Moors live about this very question. Can we bring it on stage? There's that gentleman. There he is. Let's see. Is this a part?
Go read the 14th Amendment. One, Noble Drew Ali was clearly warning you about jurisdiction in that statement alone.
Okay, so to preface this real quick, this person on the right, this the Mantis picture, he's affiliated with RV Bay Publications, another one of these charlatan groups that have been using Noble Drew Ali's teachings and literature and information and basically taking advantage of people. However, he came on the live and was trying to challenge me about this and about that and got into this whole thing about Noble Drew Ali said there's no need for the 14th and 15th Amendment. And so then I said, oh, word, let's pull it up. And I pulled it up and said, I'm gonna put that together. I'll edit a video for that because it's a beautiful demonstration. And then I pull up the actual information and I ask him to read it. And then when you see the full context, Noble Drew Ali didn't say that, but he was trying to manipulate it and say that Noble Drew Ali said something that he did not say. But here I really call him on something, and it honestly came to me at the last second because I was telling him, hey man, get your last words in because we had been going back and forth for a good 15 minutes, and it's hard for me to have a conversation with people who aren't being sincere. And it was clear that he just didn't want to admit that he was caught in his lies. But this one, I caught him in. And this is one that Tarik Bey and many of these charlatans and liars, I apologize. Many of these charlatans and scammers and liars, I'm gonna call it the liars, will say Noble Drew Ali said to enforce the Constitution. And I caught him in it. And I was like thankful that I remembered at the last second. So let me find yeah. Caught him. Yeah, so now let's cue it up. Now let's cue him up. Bam.
In that statement alone, 14th and 15th Amendment.
Lastly,
I would say that you're the scammer. You're the one who's slandering.
Before you go,
when
good brother,
the conversation comes up with you, you don't want to talk about it. You act like Noble Drew Ali then.
Before you go, good brother, I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Please stop scamming people. If you want to take advantage, it's not wise. I wouldn't advise it.
Bro, listen, I would say, stop slandering me, bro.
I would say
stop slandering me. I never scammed anyone, bro. I never scammed. Y'all the ones who ducking this Noble Drew Ali conversation are the ones scamming people because you're not in the Moorish Science Temple of America. You got a hip hop temple. And your man's here already tried it with the Two-Face sister. And application of the 14th Amendment. I haven't scammed anyone in my life, bro. Ever.
You just tried it. You just tried it here.
No, never. I didn't. I came on here to be real with you. Okay, and I'm calling you a scammer. And I'm calling you a. I leave it to y'all, man. I leave it to y'all. You slandered me.
See what it is. But I see that you weren't even able to do that.
Love him so much, and we respect him so much. You want to take it personal? That's fine. I'm saying you showed that you're the scammer because you don't want to have these conversations about what Noble Drew Ali actually said and where I'm coming from with this perspective. So Noble Drew Ali said there's no need for the application of the 14th Amendment. If you read that, that's jurisdiction. If Noble Drew Ali's statement is conflicting or hypocritical, say that. But you blaming us. We took it for what it is in the divine warning to the nation.
One last thing before you go. Did Noble Drew Ali say to enforce the Constitution?
He was calling on those who stood for the enforcement. Hold up.
Did he?
Hold
Yes
up.
or no?
Let's get to it, because I find, brother, that you was a little insincere. You've been a little insincere. There's no need for the application of the 14th Amendment.
It's gonna hit me right. You can see it in real time. Watch it again.
If you read that, that's jurisdiction. If Noble Drew Ali's statement is conflicting or hypocritical, say that. But you blaming us. We took it for what it is in the divine warning to the nation.
One last thing before you go. Did Noble Drew Ali say to enforce the Constitution?
He was calling on those who stood for the enforcement. Hold up.
Did he? Yes or no?
Let's get to it, because I find, brother, that you was a little insincere. You've been a little insincere with taking a misquote as a flat out lie.
You're gonna have to go, brother.
This. Hold on, let me say this, and I'll step out your way. Noble Drew Ali was calling on all of those
who stood
for the enforcement of.
See, I caught him in the lie. He already got caught before, so he didn't want to get caught again. And it just hit me at the last second. That's why I said, did Noble Drew Ali say enforce the Constitution? He stood for the application. You see how he danced? Yes or no? Did he say it? I'm telling you, no, he didn't say it. The liars, the scammers, they'll try to say, yes, he did say it. He told us in the divine warning for the nations, he said Moors to enforce the Constitution. The liars. Well, let's play this a little bit more, and then I'll show you the proof. Get up out of here.
Of a free national constitution and government.
Did Noble Drew Ali say for Moors to enforce the
Constitution or not?
No, he didn't.
To the people who was about that life.
You see, that's the difference. That's the difference between you and I, good brother.
All right, so let it be made clear. It's a difference between us.
Men can stand on the truth.
Yes, absolutely. The truth is, that's who he was calling out on, bro. He was calling on those for the enforcement of a free national constitution and government, bro. That's who he was calling out to. Whether he told Moors to do it or not.
Okay.
What you said?
I'm gonna talk to somebody who could be honest now. But I want you to have a great.
So you gonna call me dishonest? Yo, you a cheater, Rami. Rami, you a cheater. You trying to control the narrative, and it's okay. But I just had to tap.
Boy, they get mad when you be honest with them, man. But see, now let me get to the proof. I ain't just gonna talk it to you. I ain't just talking. No. A divine warning by the prophet for the nations. This is the part that they are trying to reference and use in their deception, in their charlatan ways. This is a statement where he's talking about citizens and national government and the Constitution, right? Talking about states government, okay? Talks about city hall and officials in the government. But let's get it right here. I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. So in the very part where they're trying to say Moors are supposed to enforce the Constitution, one, he never said that. He said, I am calling on all true citizens who stand for the enforcement of the Constitution. That's just speaking to a specific people. True citizens that stand for national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution. Those true citizens help me in my great missionary work. What is the missionary work? to save my people, Moorish Americans, so-called black people, who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. And what government? What constitution? The American citizens of the United States of America. The Constitution for the United States, or the U.S. Constitution. Not some divine constitution, not some zodiac constitution, not some made-up Moorish constitution, none of that. And he's not saying that Moors need to, quote-unquote, enforce the Constitution. Never once did Noble Drew Ali say that. And that dude that was associated with RV Bay Publications, he knew that. He knew he was caught in a lie. He just wasn't man enough to be honest and admit it. Tarik Bay and all of the people, not just them, but all of the people that preach this and teach this idea of enforcing the Constitution. Matter of fact, better yet, you feel me? Hold on. We on the road today. Hold on. Let me back up for a second. Hold on. We're gonna pull it up right here, man. I don't even know if I'm gonna play the video. I'm just freeze the frame so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna freeze the frame so you can see what I'm talking about. That's all. I don't even really want to get into the nonsense. There we go. Here's some these two individuals. The dude on the right over here. This dude, whole movement is called Enforce the Constitution. Brother Lamont, been locked up several times. Prison. Associated with Tarik Bay, the king of the Moor scammers, the charlatan. Talking about this idea of enforcing the Constitution. Complete nonsense. And associating Noble Drew Ali and saying that's what Moors need to do. All of the people like this that preach and teach this, they are incorrect. They are lying to you. Be careful. All right. I'm done. Man, bruh. Oh, man. I'm sorry, dog. I can't do it. Deceivers. Yeah. A lot of deceivers. But I think I've proven my point. I've answered some questions. I answered the questions for today. So again, just to summarize, just to close that out, didn't Noble Drew Ali tell Moors to enforce the Constitution? Absolutely not. 100%, 1000% a complete lie. Anybody who's saying that, anybody who's talking that, preaching that, teaching that, they're lying to you. Either it's intentionally or they're completely ignorant. Either way, I wouldn't be listening to it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I can't stand that dude or person. I appreciate the questions today. Appreciate the build. I hope the information was informative. Again, when it comes to things dealing with the Moor Science Temple of America, Noble Drew Ali, Moorish Americans, this idea of Moorish science, my suggestion, I always advise people to study what Noble Drew Ali said first, and then reference that when you see these other Moorish individuals teaching. Yeah, because there's a lot of charlatans out here. There's a lot of people that are lying and scamming and presenting themselves as this Moorish teacher or Moorish leader or Moorish expert of law and blah, 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 blah. and they're completely bogus. So we got to be careful. Pardon me. But with that, I'm about to get something to eat. Thank you for tuning in. Moorish Americans out there, man, let's do better at being honest and sincere and correcting this false information out here, so that we can have a proper image, and you know what I mean, just so that we're understood properly. And everybody else, other American citizens, people of the world, thank you for having patience with us while we get our things together. Yeah, and man, much love on some real stuff, man. It is a lot going on in the world. I don't even really want to get into all that on the channel. You already know, you say certain things, they get that dripping, but it's a lot going on in the world, man. Things in the sky, things in the. It's a lot going on. Do our best to stay prayed up. Be grateful of the things we do have, even if things aren't going right. Spread love and kindness. Have forgiveness. Yeah. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you and yours. Let's have a great day. Peace. Oh, last thing. And if you're watching this and you had a question or you wanted to ask a question, drop it in the comment section. All right. Peace. 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 Ooh.